Hello, everybody, and welcome. This episode 26, I think, of Grim.
It's probably episode 26, but I'm now at least pretending no longer to know these numbers, though I secretly actually do at this point, which is sad.
I'm your host, Milk. This is Emma. Welcome to Grim
Finger
Scenarios.
guns. Pew, pew, pew.
How you doing, Emma? You good?
Oh yeah, delightful. Always great.
Fantastic. We're going to talk about more tokens that you haven't seen before. We're going to talk about what to do when you get a different token, a new token, a token you've never pulled before. This is sort of part 2 of our sequence of doing these, and maybe there'll be a part 3.
Yeah, there'll probably be part 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. This is our Hatter strategy episode for new to Hatter, and then we'll do our next strategy episode once we have the next new character, which is probably coming out not this Thursday like it was scheduled originally, but probably the Thursday after. Not to date this video to when it was supposed to be being recorded, because...
That's bad. We should do that. Alternately, who cares? All right, Emma. Well, what do you think about the Hatter? Why don't we talk about the Hatter really quickly, because it is on the script. We're not going to be... you're not going to be playing as the Hatter. I didn't think that was very interesting for you to be the Hatter. It's basically an effect on death outsider, and we've kind of already done some of those.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you would be something else and have to deal with what happens when there might or might not be a Hatter in the game.
Yeah, so when for the good team, you just sort of have to track Hatter's dying and figure out what has changed, if anything, from then.
I guess we could read the token. If you died today or tonight, the minion and demon players may choose new minion and demon characters to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Hatter is... So lots of custom scripts and also S&V and BMR for that matter are a lot of their balance is based around ambiguity about demon type in particular. So the demon type changing forces you. So as you're solving the game as a member of the good team, one of the things you're trying to do is, well, if it's this type of demon, it's probably these people. If it's that type of demon, it's probably those people, blah, 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 blah. And the Hatter forces you to switch gears when you've realized it's died. And sometimes you'll know it's died because you have a good reason to trust the player who's the Hatter. Maybe you were the empath with a 0 on them, and then they died at night.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably a good sign that they're probably just good. I mean, maybe if you were poisoned or drunk and there was a Fangor and Imp, but this script we're looking at doesn't have Fangor or Imp, or really any reason that evil would want to die at night. So, right. In situations like that, you have good reasons to trust the Hatter, which means you now need to start throwing out all the things you thought you knew about the game and once again resolve demon type. Maybe the demon type hasn't changed, and you have to just reapply all the things you already thought you knew. Other times, you won't have as good idea the Hatter died. Like, you're the chef. A player was executed. The next day, they claimed Hatter. They're sitting somewhere that's not obviously evil from your chef number, not obviously good either. Are they the Hatter? Are they an evil player bluffing Hatter? You don't know. Sometimes, if the minions are loud enough, you'll get a good sense that the Hatter has changed. Maybe after 3 days of no one seeming harpy mad and no one claimed to be harpy mad the next day, suddenly you're harpy mad at night. Maybe a Hatter died. Maybe someone survived execution and 2 people died from harpy madness and no one's claiming Alchemist. And then suddenly in the night you get a second death. Or Hatter probably died. That's probably an assassin switching off one of those minions. So you just have to sort of be thoughtful about how the game has changed and use that to sort of rebuild your solves from the ground up.
Yeah, I think that seems right. And I think, that awareness of what effects are happening can be very powerful for the good team, right, and allow them to make that solve. So especially if you're on the evil team, you don't necessarily want to go from a quiet minion to a loud minion necessarily, right, when you get a Hatter change, because it might reveal something to the good team. On the other hand, maybe it's just more advantageous for you to grab an Assassin's Blade and stab someone, or to become the Cerenovus and hide some powerful information. It's up to the individual player, of course, but there's a lot that goes into thinking about what to do when your role changes mid-game. And we've talked about role changes mid-game before.
Mm-hmm. And, the community is still sort of figuring out what works best with Hatter. And I actually think on the best Hatter scripts I've seen and the best Hatter scripts I've played, there's often some sort of noisiness that's de facto present when Hatter changes. I know that some people who I respect who very much disagree with me this, but I think that Hatter works best with louder minions and not as well with the very quiet minions. Like, I wouldn't want to see Hatter on like a TV style script where all the minions are incredibly quiet, because I think you're frequently getting straight to the point where it's not solvable for the good team. So I think the evil team has to choose whether, I think making the evil team choose between switching to maybe a more powerful setup for the situation at the cost of confirming the Hatter is something I think and hope this is the direction Hatter scripts end up going.
I kind of agree with you. I mean, if you look at roles like Baron or Spy especially, right, it's kind of a no-brainer to just change into something else if you've got that role.
Especially if those other options are like Poisoner and Scarlet Woman.
Yeah, right.
Well, you already have the Spy stuff. Like, if you need to seem good as the Spy is turned into the Poisoner, you know who to poison to make yourself seem
fortune
good.
Teller or the empath or whoever, yeah.
Yeah. And if you're the Baron, you just don't want to be the Baron anymore. You've done that job. Scarlet Woman's a much more powerful choice at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the Baron really wants to be Hatter change, right? Like, the Baron wants to be changed into something else. So it's tricky.
Yeah, and so, and I think this script is, the minions on this script are, I would say, mid-loud, except for the Poisoner, which is loud on this script by sort of the absence of the other minions. But I do sort of see, in my mind, Hatter, similar to Plague Doctor, I like to see sort of louder minions that give both teams a more realistic chance to solve.
Yeah, I think that sounds...
And both teams more strategic choices.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. I think it makes the Hatter much more interesting when the choice of what to take in any given moment isn't obvious, right? There's not an obvious best thing or an obvious, well, I should just get out of this right now. I should get into something else because my ability's used, right? Maybe have one of those, right? Here there's an assassin, right? So maybe have one of those, but don't fill the script with passive things or things that can spend.
Yeah, like maybe you're the spent assassin. You have to decide whether you want to like take a powerful late game ability, like say the organ grinder, which when that comes into the game at the late stage, that can be very chaotic and powerful for the evil team. But by becoming the organ grinder, you're making it very obvious that the Hatter died. Not that there's an organ grinder on this particular script we're looking at, but those are the sort of choices I think that make Hatter the most interesting to me.
And then there are also some minions that are stronger earlier in the game. The Poisoner traditionally is a little bit stronger earlier in the game before, for example, powerful townsfolk, tend to get killed off or turned into suspects or get framed. So, there's some interesting things you can do. And with that in mind, Emma, I didn't want to gyp you out of having an interesting role, even though you weren't going to be playing the Hatter. So I have dealt you a token that we haven't talked about before, the Alchemist.
Interesting. So the Alchemist is a character that can actually track whether the Hatter has changed because their ability may change. The Alchemist is sort of interesting in that its ability is a constant. You have a not in play minion ability. So if the in play minions change, the Alchemist can be forced to change. So the Alchemist, even though they will never get to choose a minion to be when the Hatter dies, they might end up being able to confirm that a Hatter died by virtue of their ability changing.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting kind of interaction that maybe is a little bit fun, to play around with. So I thought we'd give you the Alchemist token, and why don't we go out to the Grim?
Yeah, that seems fine to me.
All right, Emma. So you're the Alchemist, and on night one, you are woken by the storyteller, and you are shown the Devil's Advocate token.
Interesting. DA is sort of a classic alchemist choice for storytellers. It's a bit of a weird one, though, right?
Mhm.
Like a lot of minion abilities, the DA is sort of inherently evil-sided. You can confirm that you have the DA ability and you've protected someone, I suppose, which is useful. But if towns actually but it's probably not worth town's time to execute the person you're protecting if they're actually good. And if they're actually suspicious and evil, you don't actually want to protect them. You want them dead. So, like, spending a whole day just to confirm that you have the DA's ability is weird. And then, if you make it to Final 3 and you don't time things right, like, just like with an evil DA, if you end up picking the demon, you can cause the good team to lose the game.
Indeed.
And on this script with the Hatter, the Assassin, and the Poe, you might not be able to successfully notice when it's about to be Final 3. So the DA is something that's very tricky for you to manage as an alchemist.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You're shown the DA token, and then the following morning, you wake up, and the storyteller, Emma, shockingly, has died.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I protect myself.
Oh yes, we forgot to get your pick, and of course you protect yourself on the first.
Yeah, so as the non-DA, I'd be very unlikely to pick myself or another evil player early. It's frequently not worth it. You want to sort of use the DA to create suspicion or misinformation rather than using it to secure your demon's life, because, if people are suspicious of your demon and their DA protected, they're just going to execute them the next day when you can't do anything about it. So all you've done is delayed the inevitable for a day. But here, there's what I'm good. And if in the event that, town foolishly decides they want to execute me, when I'm clearly good and haven't done anything wrong and I'm not intentionally being suspicious, because that doesn't sound like me.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've protected a good player, which is good.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me. So why don't we go ahead and give you a chat? In fact, why don't we have the player in seat 3 just go ahead and ping you right away for a chat, Emma?
Sure, we can talk to the player in seat 3.
All right. So the player in seat 3 says, "Hey Emma, how's it going? I just want to get this out there, right away. I think it's really, really useful. I have got a chef 1."
Well, I say that's perfect. I'm the devil's advocate. So you should probably kill my neighbor seat 5, which is nice for me because as the DA, I like to lazily bluff T-Lady, and T-Lady's not on the script, but now I've got to given an excuse to kill my neighbor anyway as part of my lazy T-Lady bluff.
All right. That sounds like a thing that we can do. So you're just hard claiming devil's advocate?
Yeah. The devil's advocate. It's a minion ability. I'm the minion section of the Grim.
And I put it on my Grim. Okay, thanks, Emma. I guess. Bye. All right, Emma. What are we doing here? Where are we doing?
We're just having fun. Sometimes you just gotta have fun. Like Chef 1 is an interesting thing. Chef 0 sort of makes it more likely your neighbors are evil. Chef 1 makes it a little bit more likely your neighbors are good.
You want to explain that, since I don't think we ever talked about it before?
Yeah, so basically, I don't actually know the math. I just trust that this is the math. So I haven't actually gone and verified and calculated this. But let's say our Chef 1 is over there in seat 9. I'm just marking them as random things in my Grim. An 8. Because we know the Chef 1 isn't me in seat 3 because I'm on the good team, so it can't be there. So wherever the Chef 1 is, there's only one more evil amongst the other 10 players, right? So that makes it pretty likely that any given player outside that Chef 1 is good. And since I know I'm not in the Chef 1, it makes it fairly likely seat 5 is good. But more likely than it normally is. Because we know that only one of their neighbors can be that Chef 1 pair. Now,
all right.
if it's a chef 0, if the harpy's in seat 8 and the poisoner's over there in seat 1, at this point, there's a bunch of people who can't be evil. 12, 2, 7, 9. Me and seat 3, who are trusting in the situation is the good chef, because those are all numbers that are blocked out. That means in the other 4 players, seats 5, 6, 10, and 11, exactly one of them is evil, which is just more likely. Like, we've switched from a if we trust me and the chef and the chef number sober, we've switched from a 1 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 chance that the 30 falls next to us versus a chef 0 where it's a 1 in 4 chance the 30 was directly next to us.
All right. That sounds believable, I think.
Yeah, and I'm sure the math is more complicated than that. That's a very superficial version of the math. But the point is, like, once you've sort of locked down evil and good locations, the chef number makes it, chef 1 makes it more likely your neighbors are good. If you're uncertain, and a chef 0 makes it more likely they're evil.
All right. Well, Emma, who would you like to talk to next?
No, I don't care.
Okay, great. Well, let's talk to seat 11.
Perfect.
Hi, Emma. How are you?
Hello.
What sort of claims would you like to do?
Would you like to know who I DA protected?
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I protected you because you're my demon.
Nope, not the demon. Just the innkeeper.
You're the player I'm framing as my demon. It's fine.
Well, that makes sense. The innkeeper is a very powerful bluff.
Well, there's no puka here to lock you in as obviously the puka. So we don't have to necessarily kill you immediately since you're not the puka. We know that.
Fair point.
But we are framing you, so you are DA protected. Congratulations.
So I'm DA protected today. Okay, great. Well, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess good luck then.
Yeah. You too.
All right. Let's give you another chat. Let's talk to the player in seat 8.
That sounds delightful.
All right. You go and talk to the player in seat 8. Says, "Hi, Emma. How are you? How's your info? You got any info?"
I have an info. Yeah, sure. The info I have is that seat 9 is safe from execution today.
Oh, okay. So I've got great news for you.
Mm-hmm.
I drank with you last night. I'm the sailor.
Interesting. That's a fun one.
Yeah, I hope that's okay. I hope I didn't, mess up any starting information.
Actually, it's sort of funny if you did. Let's execute you.
Execute me? Sure, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine to be executed.
Okay.
We can do some science.
Yeah, science is great.
All right. Thanks, Emma. And we'll wrap up the day with that, I think. That's 3 chats. That's plenty of chats for one day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Emma, would you like to make any nominations?
Oh, yeah, I'm actually nominating seat 8.
Emma nominates seat 8. Emma, why are we nominating seat
8? Seat 8 is my demon. This is not a double bluff. I have DA protected them. They're bluffing sailor, so we should kill them. So you believe that they're the sailor.
All right. Seat 8 says, "Well, I am the sailor, and I think it would be great to test me today. It would be a great person to test. So let's do it." So we're just going to say that gets a whole bunch of hands because people want to test the sailor, I guess. Do you vote on this, Emma?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All righty then. Well, it gets a whole bunch of votes, and it's more than enough, and it's definitely not going to be lifted. Seat 8 is executed and does not die, and everybody goes to sleep. All right, Emma. Well, you're not going to wake up at night. Oh, no, you are going to wake up at night to use your ability, for sure. Well, what are we thinking?
So there's a few things here. I don't actually know what ability I have until the storyteller comes and asks me whether I to use my ability and what they prompt me with.
All right. And what when the storyteller comes and says, "Please select a player."
Oh, great. So the storyteller has now come to me and said, please select a player, which means I may actually have the DA ability, or I may actually have the poisoner ability. I don't know.
Well, what do you want to do about it?
Well, I'm gonna poison Seed 8.
Alrighty, you poison C8 or DA protect C8. You're not sure. We'll go ahead and put
One
the
of
DA.
those two.
We'll go ahead and put the DA. We'll go ahead and put the DA token there, and we'll see what comes of that. All right, in the rest of the night goes by without incident for you. And the following morning, you wake up and the player in seat 5 has died. And the player in seat 5 immediately says, "All right, everybody. I think it started as an Oho game because I am the Hatter, and unfortunately, I'm dead now. So the evils have probably changed up their roles."
Seed 5 is claiming to be the Hatter, and the evils have changed up their roles. Now, that's interesting, because I was not told to change my Alchemist token.
What do you think that means?
And it means either they picked roles that I don't have, so my ability was unaffected, or, yeah, it just really means that. Like, this player's almost certainly not lying, because they're dead, and like we were talking about, there's really no reason for an evil player to die on the night in this script.
Seems fair enough. All right, well, the player in seat 1 says, "Hey, Emma, can I talk to you real quick?"
Yeah, sure.
All right. You go into conversation with the player in seat 1, and they say, "So, Emma, I think that you're evil. I heard you're just claiming devil's advocate, and I think we should kill you today."
No, we should kill me tomorrow. I'm DA protected today.
"No, I heard that you're the DA, and I think you're evil, so we need to get you out of here."
No, we should do that tomorrow when I'm not DA protected.
Right, but maybe you were DA protecting seat 8 yesterday, and so, yeah, you would be protected today, but I don't care. We should still kill you because you're probably evil.
No, we should kill seat 8, my demon.
I see.
Today.
All right, well, good luck with your evil, Emma.
What are you, seat 1?
Me? I don't think you need to know because you're evil, and why would I tell an evil player my role?
Oh, that's not fair. You're telling me my role, so you should also tell me your role.
Well,
That's a fair trade.
Somebody else told me you claimed devil's advocate. Bye, Emma. And they leave.
That was a useless conversation. Why did you make me have it?
Don't know. Just having fun, like you said. Who do you want to talk to?
Let's talk to seat 10.
All right, you go over and talk to seat 10. "Hey, Emma, what's up?"
Not much. How are you?
"I am good. I am the preacher, and I have been preaching people, and I don't think I've had any effect yet. I have a question, though, for you, Emma. If I preach someone, and the Hatter allows them to change their ability, do they get unpreached?" Oh,
I already answered your question. I interrupted you to say no because it was an inane question, Milk.
Yes, but some people might have this question about the Hatter, and so I have inserted it here usefully for our purposes.
Yeah, but I've already answered it. It's just a hard no. If they remain a minion, they remain preached. Doesn't matter.
Okay, good to know, Emma. Thanks.
You should preach me tonight.
I should preach you tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. I'll do that. Thanks. I will. All right. That's that conversation. Would you like to have one more? You can have one more, or two more.
Sure,
maybe.
We can talk to seat 7.
Talk to seat 7. "Hey, Emma, what's up?"
How's it going?
I guess I'm okay. I used my ability on the first night. I'm the seamstress. I'm being open about it. I'm just telling everybody. I don't think it really matters because I'm a used seamstress. I used my ability on the first night, and I checked seat 12 and seat 3, and I got a yes.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I got a seamstress yes. I'll add it to the room here for the viewers at home. I got a seamstress yet on seat 3 and on seat 12. So I'm not sure, exactly if that means they're good or evil, but yeah. What are
Yeah,
you?
no, that. Oh, I'm the something. The Alchemist. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to say here.
You're the alchemist. Cool. What ability do you have?
Well, probably the Poisoner ability.
Oh, okay. Who did you pick?
Myself, and then seat 8.
Oh, okay. Great. Um, I guess we can figure out if seat 8 is the leech, then, if they're poisoned today.
Perfect, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Bye. All right, Emma. Well, that's some conversations. You want to have one more, or you feel good? You ready to nominate
I feel
someone?
great.
Ah, great.
I'm gonna nominate seat 8.
You nominate Emma. Nominates seat 8. Emma, why seat 8?
Once again, this isn't a double bluff. Seat 8 is my demon. They're not DA protected today. Let's kill them.
All right. And seat 8 says, we tested me yesterday. I don't think there's any reason to test me again. Why don't we just leave me alive? But of course, everyone's going to vote on this because you're so certain, Emma. Because you're so certain about your ability. And seat 8 gets a whole bunch of votes and is executed and dies. And everybody goes to sleep.
Beautiful.
So what does this mean, Emma?
Not much.
Oh, great. Well, the storyteller comes to visit you and says, "Hello, Emma. Please select a player."
Oh, let's pick myself.
All right, you select yourself. Thank you. And the storyteller goes away, and hopefully I've done this in the right order because I didn't actually check the night order before I did this. The storyteller returns and says, "Oh yeah, I did it in the right order. Good." And says, "Hello, Emma. The harpy has selected you to be mad that the player in seat 10 is evil."
Sweet.
Okay, bye. Another relatively new token, the harpy, which causes one player to be mad that the second player is evil, or both might die. All right, Emma, you wake up the following day, and who do you want to talk to? Oh, right.
Oh, we're talking
Before I
seat
forget,
12.
the player in seat 11 has died, and the player in seat 11 immediately goes to talk to the player in seat 10.
Okay, I'll go talk to the player in seat 12.
Hey, Emma, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
I don't know. My info's really weird.
What is it? Maybe I can help you.
I think I've been poisoned at some point in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the empath. I had a 1 on night 1, and now I've had a 2 for 2 nights running. And I'm kind of confused about what's going on.
Most likely a Vortox left play or entered play.
Okay. You sure it's not a poisoner? That could be a poisoner.
Yeah, it could be a poisoner. But it feels more like a Vortox to me.
Oh, all right. Interesting. Any particular reason for that?
Well, your 2 is just not plausible, right? Like, you had a 2 on seat 1 and seat 11, then seat 11 dies in the night and you get a 2 on seat 1 and seat 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, that's not real information.
I guess 11 and 10 could have been could be evil together. They're talking right now.
Why is 11 dead?
Yeah, I guess there's nothing on the script that really, no evils on the script want to die at night, do they?
No.
All right, well, that makes sense to me. Maybe it's a Vortox.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good. Thanks. All right, Emma, how about another conversation? Forgot to mark
I'll
the
talk
Hatter.
to seat 9.
I forgot to mark the Hatter. Hi, Emma. What can I
How's
do
it
for
going?
you? I'm good. My info's a little bit weird, but I'm good.
Okay.
Um,
Tell me about it. Tell me about this weird info.
So, I guess it's night 3, so it probably doesn't matter. I've gotten a ton of fortune teller yeses all over the place, and I'm not really sure. That seems really Vortoxy, but I feel like the demon would have changed in a Hatter change. So it feels like Vortoxed information. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Do you have
So,
any thoughts about whether it's
who did
Vortox
you
or not?
get your first yes on? What night?
So I got a yes on night 1 on the players in seat 2 and seat 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a yes on the player in seat 12 and the player in seat 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a yes on the player in seat 7 and you.
Okay. So I think it started off as not Vortox, then became Vortox when the Hatter died. So I think your yes on C10 is specifically accurate, and we should kill that demon.
So you think the yes on day 1 on seat 10 means that the player in seat 10 is the demon from the first night?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I can get behind that. And then I just got yeses after that to confuse me because of the Vortox. Yeah, that makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, that makes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe that.
C10 is very evil.
Yeah, I think seat 10's probably. Yeah, okay, I can buy that. I mean, they didn't read evil to me, but yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, well, they are evil. We know they're evil.
All right, Emma. It sounds like it's time for nominations.
Mm-hmm.
When you come back to town, the player in seat 1 says, "Hey everybody, I just want you all to know that I have been harpy mad the last 2 days. I'm not harpy mad today. I was harpy mad the first day, and I tried to kind of tell everyone that I thought seat 6 was evil. I was harpy mad yesterday that Emma was evil, and yep. Now I'm not harpy mad anymore, so it's probably on somebody else, or maybe we killed the harpy. Seems unlikely, but anyway, that's what I've got. The player in seat 11 says, "Hey everybody, I'm the Raven Keeper, and I saw the player in I saw the player in seat 7 as the Harpy."
Mm. Okay.
So I
But it's
think
a
we should.
Vortox game, so we should kill C10, right?
I don't really want to kill seat 10. Seat 11 says, "I don't really want to kill seat 10. I think seat 10 is really good."
Yeah, but they're the demon. After the Hatter died, it became a Vortox game. Now they're the demon. Are you forgetting that part, C11?
Uh, well, I didn't really know it was a Vortox game. If it's a Vortox game, then probably the player in seat 7 is good. But I know for sure that the player in seat 10 is not the demon
Mm-hmm.
and is good.
Fascinating.
Do you want to nominate Emma?
No, good. I've made my argument. I think I'm safe from Harpy Madness.
Okay. The player in seat 10 nominates the player in seat 1. Player in seat 10 says, "I'm not sure about Vortox, but I have heard that there's something weird going on with the player in seat 1. The Harpy Madness claim, I'm not sure if I believe. I think we should maybe kill the player in seat 1." Player in seat 1 says, "I was definitely Harpy mad. You can kill me if you want. I'm not. I'm not a useful role. I mean, I'm a used role. So yep, this is fine if you want to do it." Seat 2 votes. Seat 3 does not vote. Do you want to vote on this, Emma?
Uh,
Player in seat
no,
1.
I'm Harpy mad that C10's evil. I'm not voting on their nomination.
All right, sounds good. Player in seat 5 doesn't vote. Seat 6 votes. Seat 7 doesn't vote. Seat 9 doesn't vote. Seat 10 does vote. Seat 12 does not vote, so it's not enough. Seat 1 is safe for today. Are there any other nominations? You don't want to make a nomination. Let's have seat 6 is going to nominate the player in seat 2. Player in seat 6 says, player in seat 2 gave me some kind of bad vibes in terms of their ability to, like, in terms of like what they were claiming. They were claiming to be the courtier. I don't think they're actually the courtier. I think they're probably evil. Player in seat 2 says, "No, I'm not. I'm not evil. Just the courtier. I used my ability. I used my ability to drunk the Poe. I guess it wasn't a Poe game, or if it was a Poe game, it got changed or whatever. Not really sure." Um, Emma, do you want to vote on this? The player in seat 3 does vote on this.
Who's nominated?
Seat 2.
Yeah, I'll vote on it.
All right, you vote. Seat 3 votes. You vote. Player in seat 6 votes. The player in seat 7 votes. The player in seat 9 votes. The player in seat 10 votes. The player in seat 12 votes, and the player in seat 1 votes. So everyone votes except for seat 2, who does not vote on themselves. That's obviously more than can be handled. So seat 2 is executed and does not die, and everybody goes to sleep.
Interesting.
All right, Emma, the storyteller wakes you up and says, "Who would you like to protect, Emma?"
Oh, we're poisoning seat 2.
All right, you protect seat 2. Got it. Oh, sorry, the storyteller says, "Please select a player." I guess it's technically what they say. But, all right, you select player in seat 2, and then nothing else happens to you in the night, and you wake up the following morning. All right. What do you want to do? Who do you want to talk to? Oh, sorry. Right, a player
Who's
has
dead?
died. A player has died in the night, and that player is the player in seat 1.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Who would you like to target?
Oh, let's talk to seat 6.
All right, you go and talk to seat 6. Hey, Emma, what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
I am okay. I was really suspicious of the player in seat 2. Their information didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Yeah, so I just thought maybe we should try to kill them. And look, it turns out that they were probably DA protected, right?
Well, see, the thing is, I have the Devil's Advocate token, and I picked myself last night.
Oh, that's weird. So
Yeah.
it's a leech game?
That's my current working theory.
That's pretty strange. I heard a lot of people were talking about Vortox yesterday.
Yeah, I was talking about Vortex yesterday because I was harping mad at the player in seat 10, and it
Oh.
suited me. I don't know if it's Vortox or not, but C2 surviving execution is odd because they're not the sailor. They could be the leech, or they could have been DA protected. Either way, I think it makes sense to tap them again today and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should kill the player in seat 2. That makes a lot of sense. All right, thanks, Emma. All right, and the player in seat 10 pings you, Emma.
Okay.
Hey, Emma. So just so you know, I'm the night watchman, not the preacher. I think you were probably harpy mad yesterday about me. It seemed like you were
Yeah.
picking on me with no reason. I'm confirmed, so I think you're probably good since you were harpy mad.
I was harping mad at you.
I sent my ping to the player in seat 11, who is the Raven Keeper.
Okay, what night you do that?
On the first night.
Okay. I'm the Alchemist DA. I didn't protect seat 2 yesterday. They can't. So, if I'm actually the poisoner, which would fit my waking patterns, either because I was sailor drunk the first night, according to the sailor, or because it became a Vortox game at some point. Seat 2 was DA protected yesterday. I poisoned them last night to see if they were the demon. But if I'm the poisoner, or they're just a leech, I think we kill them today and see if they're a leech or we're just DA protected. I think it's very solving.
All right, it sounds good to me. All right, well, with that, we're going to go to nominations. And Emma, I assume you're going to nominate the player in seat 2.
Yeah, all the reasons I've said.
Yep, and everybody agrees, and everybody votes on seat 2 again. And seat 2 is executed and dies. And the game does not end, and the storyteller takes it to the night phase. But we're about a half an hour in, so Emma, what do you think is going on? Give us what you know or you think you know about the Grim. I'm not sure this one's fully solvable at this point.
Well, I know I have the poisoner ability.
Okay, so let's start with that. So you have the poisoner ability. So you're the good alchemist poisoner. All right. What else do you think you know? Is it a Vortox game currently? Is a question I have for you.
It was not a Vortox game to start because the Night Watchman ping gave the correct name.
Correct.
Therefore, I was just Sailor Trunk Night 1. The fact that the DA ability is actually in play suggests I've always had the Poisoner ability, which, if I'm the Poisoner, I think it's very solving. I think it's very solving. The fact that the DA ability is actually in play suggests I've always had the Poisoner ability, which, if I'm the Poisoner, I think it's very solving. or to the extent the DA ability hasn't always been in play, and I actually had the DA ability night 1, suggests that the story it became a Vortox game, which explains why the storyteller had me continue to think I had the DA's ability after the Hatter died. I don't remember who Seat 9's fortune teller was on night 1 besides Seat 10.
It was Seat 10 and Seat 7.
That makes Seat 7 either the red herring or the demon, because that's a night where it probably wasn't a Vortox game.
All right.
Based off the Night Watchman information. Seat 12 got a 0 that night, or 1 that night as the claimed empath, which I don't think works with Seat 1 and 11 both dying at night, so Seat 12 is likely evil. So, evil team in 7-12. I haven't actually talked to Seat 6 yet. That's a pretty plausible evil team.
All right, I think that's a pretty plausible evil team. It's not the correct evil team, but it's not a bad guess. It probably helps a lot to find out that the player in Seat 1 is the Recluse. Finding out that the player in Seat 1 is the Recluse probably clears up
that information and makes the empath look good. Yeah. Perfect. Seat 6 and Seat 7 do seem both evil then by the chef number.
So Seat 2 is definitely an evil, right? And is in fact the Harpy, who got pushed on by the player in Seat 6 because they had, of course, been DA protected because the player in Seat 6 is the DA. Unfortunately, the chef is registering off of the Recluse and the Harpy. The player in Seat 7 is, in fact, just the Seamstress. Your demon is bluffing Fortune Teller in Seat 9, started out as the Yoho, and became the Vortox. Everything else you've basically got right.
Yeah, so
I do think you would have gotten there
demon
eventually.
Were just realistic choices, yeah.
Yeah, they were both realistic choices.
I was going to poison one of them and then kill the other, probably.
Yep, that seems right. And then you end up in a world where you've probably got the chef, the empath, and the fortune teller left toward the end.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Anyway, that's your first game. That's a little taste of what the Hatter can do. It can create some real disruption. It started out as an Oho game, of course, and the Oho instantly murked the Hatter with the idea of
an interesting and probably wrong choice.
It's probably a wrong choice, but I thought it was interesting just mainly because you had the Alchemist token. So.
Yeah.
All right, well let's go to the next one. Yeah.
All right, back to scenario 2. Scenario 2, we're going to look at how evil might work with the Hatter. And Milk, we're only going to look at one night of this game. So I'm just going to tell you what's happened up to this point. You were given the bluffs Empath, Savant, and Courtier. You received a Night Watchman ping from Seat 5. And you were told that Seat 9 and Seat 2 were your minions.
9, just random minion here, random minion here. All right.
You learned that your minions were the Harpy in Seat 2 and the Assassin in Seat 9, and that the Assassin had been preached.
Okay.
The player in Seat 4 pushed on the player in Seat 1, but the execution didn't go through. Instead, the player in Seat 6 was executed for being generically suspicious.
All right, fair enough.
That night, you attacked the player in Seat 5 because they were confirmed to you, but they did not die at night.
Interesting.
When you woke up, you learned that Seat 6 was claiming Plague Doctor.
Okay.
That day, Seat 4, frustrated, outed as the bounty hunter and said, Seat 1 is my ping, that you executed Seat 1 and they did not die. That night, you killed the player in Seat 11.
Okay, so I've killed the player in Seat 11.
Mm-hmm. The day after, Seat 12 was executed.
All right. And why did we execute Seat 12?
There was a fortune teller yes on them and the player in Seat 10.
All right.
That night, And my understanding, and this may change, and this may change in my understanding, is that the current official word from Steven is that Hatters run at the Night Order spot. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to run Hatter at the Night Order spot.
Okay.
So first, I'm going to ask you, Milk, who do you want to kill tonight?
Interesting. Tricky, because the player in seat 4 might not be the bounty hunter. The player in seat 4 might just be Harpy mad about the player in seat 1. I've marked them as the bounty hunter here, but I'm not convinced that's the case.
They were not Harpy mad. You know that for a fact.
Oh, I know that they weren't Harpy mad. Oh, then they're the bounty hunter who's got a ping on seat 1. But we're certainly not killing the player with a bounty hunter ping on them. Assumedly, that was caused by sailor drunkenness or something. I don't know if the assassin has gotten their ability back at this point, but I've got a fair swing on hitting the preacher in 7, 8, or 10. That said, this might be a night to charge. And the reason it might be a night to charge is that if my minions are clever, they'll have looked at the kill pattern. The assassin will change into not the assassin, maybe into the devil's advocate. The harpy will take the assassin's ability, and the harpy will kill. So I think this is a good night to charge.
All right, so you charge. Fascinating. After you charge, you're woken up along with seats 2 and seat 9 and shown the Hatter token.
Okay.
And this is really what we want to talk about in this scenario. Everything else has just been for show. So, Milk, with the grim knowledge you have at this time that I've told you about, with the things you know, that seat 9 is preached, that seat 2 is the harpy who has presumably made someone mad tonight, but you don't know who. That madness is going to go out of effect if they change, and you've chosen to charge. You have not used your kill.
Yep.
What do you want to do here? You have a Hatter choice to make.
Yeah. So, I can wait until my minions go, or I can go first. And I'm inclined to go first. And I made the charge expecting that the Hatter choice would come, partially because you kind of implied that here. But
yeah, that was a mistake on my part. I wasn't supposed to imply that the Hatter choice was going to come.
Maybe it happens at the beginning of the night order, or maybe we had an idea that this player in seat 12 was the Hatter. Like, there's, we're kind of playing through this little fast.
Yeah, we're specifically not running at the beginning of the night order. You're running it after all the killing abilities have gone.
Maybe we knew that the Hatter. Maybe we knew that the Hatter was. Maybe we knew that they were the Hatter. Who knows?
And I'll say, just for fun, that we're using the optional rule that you can choose. You can change class. So to speak.
I made my kill choice intending to hold on to the Poe, and the reason for that is we're very close to being able to kill a lot of players with the Poe charge and an assassin kill. If the assassin kills someone tonight and then I get 3 kills tomorrow, that's really, really, really strong. And if one of my minions...
The assassin has already gone, so you won't get an assassin kill tonight.
That's right. We should look at the night order, probably. So we won't get an assassin tonight. So actually, I should have probably killed instead of charging. But that's fine. There's Innkeeper on the script. There's Savant. Who knows what's going on?
And you, in fact, know there's an Innkeeper in play, right? Because you tried to kill the Night Watchman and failed.
That's right. So that's exactly right. So there's something. I have a sailor on the grid too.
So seat 1 you have is the sailor, I assume.
No, I have seat. You told me seat 1 was the Night Watchman. Maybe I.
No, seat 5 was that. Seat 5 was the Night Watchman.
Oh, I got seat 5 and seat 1 mixed up. That's fine.
Seat 1 is the bounty hunter ping who was executed and did not die.
Right,
so your assumptions are.
So that's the sailor. Yeah.
Yeah. Your assumption is sailor, Night Watchman. You know there must be an Innkeeper somewhere. You know there must be a preacher somewhere.
Yeah, and I know that the sailor probably drank with the bounty hunter, or there's no bounty hunter. Who knows? They could be something else that's got a ping on seat 1. Don't know. Don't care. So somewhere between 7,
there was
8,
apparently a fortune teller ping that killed seat 12 off.
Right. So somewhere between 7, 8, and 10 are probably fortune teller, preacher, and Innkeeper.
Well, 10's probably not the fortune teller, right? Because there's a fortune teller, yes, on 12 and 10.
Correct. So that's not the fortune teller. But what I'm saying is seat 7, 8, and 10 contain those 3 roles. 10's probably not the fortune teller, which means it's either the preacher or the innkeeper. So probably what I'll end up doing is I'll use my Poe charge to kill seat 10, 8, 7, and see if I get it in the right order. If I miss, then I miss. It's all right. But
okay, so you're going to stick as the Poe.
I'm going to stay as the Poe. Yeah. So sometimes you're not going to want to change your role when you get the Hatter ability. But I think my minions can benefit from a swap. So I imagine that the minions will change.
Why don't you get yourself out of seat 3? Because we've sort of talked through seat 3's issues here.
Sure. Allow me to
and get yourself into seat 2. All right, Milk. So you're the Harpy in seat 2. I'll tell you a little bit of what's happened in this game from your perspective. Day 1, of course, you made seat 1 mad that seat 7 was evil.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Didn't really have much of effect.
Sure.
You're a little annoyed the storyteller didn't kill you then because you couldn't tell there was any madness in play. As far as you could tell, in fact, no one was mad. The next night, you targeted seat 1 at seat 7 again, and again, it didn't really seem like seat 1 or seat 7 was mad, and yet neither of them were killed. In fact, seat 1 was executed and survived execution. You're really not sure what's going on. And the next day, you learned that seat 1 has been drinking with you every night. And for some reason, this appears to be turning off your ability.
Interesting.
You asked seat 1 to stop drinking with you because you were the savant and you wanted to get good information.
That makes sense. That sounds like the kind of thing I would do. So why would the player in seat 7... I was making the player in seat 1 mad about the player in seat 7. And the player in seat 1's been drinking with me, so why are they selling... Oh, because the player in seat 1 is in a bounty hunter ping. So if they kill the bounty hunter... So this is information that the demon knows that the Harpy doesn't know, although probably could have been communicated through a whisper, right? The bounty hunter in seat 4 has a ping on seat 1. Oh, no, I know that too, because the bounty hunter outed publicly.
Yeah.
So the player in seat 4 has a ping on seat 1, so the storyteller can't kill off seat 1 and seat 7, because that would give another bounty hunter ping, which now would be good because the sailor's not drinking with the bounty hunter.
But why might the sailor drinking apparent? But the sailor doesn't seem to be realizing that they're supposed to be mad that seat 7's evil. They're not even trying.
Right, so that means that I'm actually getting drunked by the sailor. It's weird.
Yeah, why might that be happening? They're in a bounty hunter ping.
Well, assumedly the storyteller wants to sell this as a leech game.
Perhaps,
so
Milk.
I look like
the sailor is just evil, and instead, like you might make sense for an evil sailor. They're reversing the normal play patterns.
No, it's the evil bounty hunter. I wasn't even thinking about an evil.
You just were refusing to consider the fact that the sailor might be evil in the bounty hunter. To be totally honest,
Emma, I forgot that bounty hunters make an evil player, so that's on me.
Anyway, you've having talked with the sailor and got them to agree to stop drinking with you every night.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, now we know where that evil player is. Oh, wow, that's great.
You decided to make seat 4 mad that seat 5 is evil because seat 5 is the confirmed night watchman.
Right,
so you thought that was funny.
Yeah, so now 4 is going to push on 5. Yeah, that makes sense.
But now you have a decision to make. Your demon in seat 3 has just chosen Poe, even though they were already the Poe. And they said that quickly before you could try to steal the demonhood from them. I'm going to ask you, Milk, what do you want to do here?
Well, I mean, I know what I would do if I knew that the Poe had charged. But assumedly, if the player has said Poe again instantly, that means I know that they charge tonight and that they intend to get 3 kills. So, do I know that the player in seat 9 has been preached? Do I know the rest of what's going on with player in seat 9?
Yeah, you've known the entire game that seat 9 has been preached.
So, because the player in seat 9 hasn't picked yet, I can pick, and I can pick their role, right?
You can take Assassin.
I'll take Assassin.
Okay. Can you tell me sort of why you went Assassin versus Poisoner or DA?
Yes. So it's late in the game. Poisoner is not going to be useful without knowing who to hit. We're probably going to frame the bounty hunter because we've let them live for this long. Also, they're probably never killing off the player in seat 1 anyway, so they're probably just going to kind of push on them as the leech for the rest of the game and be looking for a leech host. so that's fine. DA, so DA isn't important right now, but DA will be important later. If the Poe is charging, that means the Poe can try to kill the preacher in the night, which means that the assassin's the other minion's ability will be unlocked. So that means that minion is in a better position to take a later game ability that doesn't need to be used fairly soon.
Okay, fascinating. Let's get you out of this seat and get you down to seat 9.
Sure, that sounds good.
All right, Milk. Well, you're the player in seat 9. You drew the assassin token, and you've had a sort of sad game. Night 1, you were woken and told you were preached. And you don't know by who. Night 2, you weren't woken at all because you were preached. Night 3, that's this night. Yes. The storyteller woke you and said, do you want to use your ability?
Oh, really?
Well, seat 6 did claim Plague Doctor. So apparently the storyteller has taken a reprieve on you.
How exciting. Apparently the yeah, that's great. I know that the player in seat 5 is the Night Watchman. I'm stabbing the Night Watchman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you stab the Night Watchman. After you stab the Night Watchman, the storyteller tells you to stay awake, wakes up seats 2 and 3, and shows you all the Hatter token. Seat 3 immediately points to Poe on their character sheet, and seat 2 points to Assassin on their character sheet.
So, Harpy going out of play makes a player who has died look more evil. Right? So when the Hatter comes out and claims to be the Hatter, the Harpy not being in play anymore is going to make that player look like an evil player. So I don't want
the Harpy's already gone, right? So
but I don't want what I'm saying is I don't want to take Harpy, right? I don't want to keep the Harpy ability in play.
The
I want
Harpy's
it to look
already gone in the night order, so the Harpy would have to be executed tomorrow for you.
Right, okay, right, good point. But still, I don't want to. The point is, I'm not bringing the Harpy ability back in play because the Harpy ability going out of play will probably make someone who's good and not the demon specifically, so irrelevant, look like they're evil, right? So it'll get the good team to misjudge their count, basically. I could take Poisoner. I could poison that bounty hunter so that we could kill them. I could try just randomly poisoning into seat 7, 8, or 10, which is also possible. But because I have just learned that the storyteller probably has the Poisoner ability, given that the Plague Doctor died and I just got my ability back, I see no reason to take away the Poisoner ability from the storyteller, who knows better than me.
No, you wouldn't. The storyteller ability is unaffected by...
Oh, really? I thought it changed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
I'm still going to take DA because I think having a variety of abilities in play are good. And I think taking DA and then DA protecting people to either make them look suspicious or protecting the Poe going into the end of the game is the strongest choice. So I'm going to change myself into the DA.
So I think that was a sort of fun little thing we did. We sort of talked through a Hatter Night for the evil team, and like the information various members of the evil team might have that the other ones might not, that might affect their choices. That's really all we're going to do. We're not running the scenario. We're just running the Hatter Night choices based on what you know at the time.
Yeah, and I think it's valuable to figure that out. I'm really embarrassed not remembering that the bounty hunter makes an evil townsfolk, but that's fine. You know, that's stuff that you can forget when you're playing too, right? Like that just happens sometimes. And I mean, to be fair, I saw it from the Poe's position first. So the Night Watchman dies tonight, then someone gets killed today, and then the Poe kills 3 players, and evil probably wins. So
Perhaps
there's
not.
an assassin. There's an assassin in play, which means evil's going to get another bite at the apple as well tomorrow night. Maybe an evil player dies. Maybe the demon gets executed. The DA is probably not protecting tonight, right? Because it's out of night order where the Hatter goes, so the DA won't get a pick. So the DA and the new assassin won't do anything until tomorrow night.
Exactly. All right, so there's our sort of what you have to think about when you're the Hatter from a 3 evil perspective.
Yeah, I think that was really interesting. A nice little smaller kind of construct for us to talk through. I like when we do these alternate. I like when we do these kind of alternate scenario kind of setups. It's fun.
For the record, your Poe's triple kill strategy wasn't going to work because the Innkeeper was going to be protecting the Fortune Teller in seat 7 and the Preacher in seat 8. So the order of killing 10, 8, 7 would not have successfully gotten triple kill off. But with the Assassin, maybe there would have anyway. Though the Assassin was possibly going to be executed tomorrow. Who knows?
Yep. And if the assassin gets killed tomorrow, that's fine, right? And even if the innkeeper doesn't die, or even if all three of them don't die, the Poe is still pretty much guaranteed to kill the innkeeper there, which is fine. Yeah, which is what needs to get out of play at that point. So, anyway, so yeah, I think that's us. That's us pretty much done, Emma.
Yeah, that's us for the week. We'll see you next week with something. Who
That's
knows?
right.
I don't even know when this is coming out. It could be anything.
Until then, may all your scenarios be grim.
Good night.